Hello from the hammock in Marrakesh. I'm going to show you how we set up camp. First we had to get there, 2.5 hour drive, and it started to look like desert already. When we got close we picked up the Relais signs, that's the campsite we're staying in tonight, and followed them nice and clearly all the way. Although we did question it a little bit when the road turned off-road, but that's typical Moroccan style. Here's the entrance to the campsite. We stopped, jumped out, headed to reception with our passports and filled in all the necessary paperwork. We were then given a map and told to go and choose our plots. On the way was the grey and black waste emptying and also water fill up. So we decided to make use of that, pop the hose in to fill the tanks, and whilst that was happening, emptied the toilet. We've got a cassette in here. It's just a case of whizzing it out, emptying it and then putting it back again. Definitely a blue job. We divide our jobs up. Paul very much does the outside of the van and myself the inside. So don't feel too guilty that I'm stood filming him and not doing anything. He unscrews the cap off the toilet cassette and tips it into the waste until it's all emptied, flushes it through a few times, sorted. I ran back because the tanks were full and put the cap back on. That was all done. And then Paul finished with the toilet cassette, slid it back in place and placed all his toilet liquid and things like that in before shutting the cabinet. It was then time to find our pitch, so we followed the map we were given at reception, had a drive around until we found one that we liked. Right, so we found a double park up. Now it's time to set up camp. So we're putting the pads out for our automatic levelling system by M.Xplores. This was a new addition to our van this year and we absolutely love it. We turn it on and then push the A for automatic and it takes care of everything for us, lowering the legs one by one.
It's choosing the ones which are downhill first. Done.
Once we plug into electric, I just turn on the panel here and I'm looking at the top left box that says grid, making sure that it comes on, and there we are, 266 watts of power. Then time to make the outside look nice and pretty. We've got a lovely big mat we put out and that's the first thing we put in place. Followed by something a bit softer that sometimes the dog likes to sit on. Then sometimes if the automatic levelling system lifts the van up quite a way, we've got a little adjustable step that goes out just to help us step down and a mat that goes in front of that. We then bought a really light and relatively cheap table off of Amazon. Has 3 different height of legs and it's very, very easy to put together. It just acts as a coffee table to put drinks and books and things like that on. And it's got a little mesh net at the bottom for your phones and other bits and pieces. So cheap and cheerful, but absolutely it does the job for us. So we pop that up and put it in position and then go and grab our 2 reclining chairs out of the back. These 2 were an Amazon purchase, 60 quid for both of them, and they're mesh, so if they get wet it doesn't matter, they dry off nice and quickly. So we pop those up and then Paul goes and grabs the cup holders to attach them. Paul noticed we had 2 trees on the plot, so it'd be rude not to put the hammock up. So he just puts some straps around there and attaches the hammock either end, adjusts the tension, and then the all-important weight test. Is he looking confident? Yeah, absolutely nailed it. Fantastic. Inside we plug in Starlink, that's the next important thing. And if we do a speed test there, it comes up nice and quickly and we're pulling in over 300 megabytes. Happy days. We then turn around the cab chairs inside to give us a bit more space and then pop the kettle on. So I just prepare the cooker, pop the kettle on, fill it up with water and spark it up. We then open some vents just to let a bit of air through flow. It's about 25 degrees, not forgetting the fly nets. And actually probably the most important thing was to turn the fridge over to electric, but we'll get that done as well. We then took a walk through the campsite very briefly, grabbed ourselves a fresh glass of orange juice because we'd worked frightfully hard, and a delicious tagine. Then it'd be rude not to sit in that hammock and give it a test in the sunshine. Oh, most perfect. Someone else was enjoying the sunshine as well. Catch you tomorrow.